What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bake It with AJ. I'm AJ, and today we have cheesecake parfaits. I'm taking another holiday classic. I mean, cheesecake is a year-round thing, but a lot of people love it over the holidays, so I thought, why don't we deconstruct it, make it into a parfait, and just layer all the flavors, because I love parfaits for that reason. You can see the colors, the flavors, all the components of it right there in front of you, and then you can taste it and you're like, oh, it tastes like a cheesecake, but it's a parfait. I don't know where I was going with that. The link to the recipe and all my social media are in the description, so go check those out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can join me every Wednesday for new episodes and recipes. I cannot wait to dig into this, so let's get started. Now, I suppose it doesn't really matter which order you make these components in. This is just the way I did it. So to start off, just so it's done and it's simple, I'm gonna be making some whipped cream. So in a bowl, I have 3/4 of a cup of cold, heavy cream. Make sure it's cold. That I'm going to be beating with about a tablespoon of granulated sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can do this by hand, I always do, just because it makes me feel a little bit better about myself. But if you don't want to, just beat this until you get nice, kind of cool whip consistency peaks here. Cover it with plastic, set in the fridge, and now we are on to the next one. I'm gonna be making the raspberry sauce. So for this, in a sauce pot, I have about 2 tablespoons of water, and I'm putting in a pint of fresh raspberries, along with a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and a pinch of salt. We're gonna cook this, stirring occasionally over a medium heat until it gets really bubbly and the raspberries start to break down. And then we're gonna switch over to our lovely whisk friend. Once we do, we're gonna throw in a 1/2 teaspoon of fresh lemon zest, a 1/4 cup of raspberry jam, and we're gonna whisk that to combine, and then turn off the heat and add about a tablespoon of framboise, which is raspberry liqueur. This is optional, but it does enhance the flavor just a little bit, and I'm always for enhancements in any way, honey. So go ahead and mix that in there. And here I'm gonna break out my immersion blender. You can put this in a regular blender or a food processor. Just process until it's really smooth. I'm using the immersion blender because I can keep it in the pot and it's a bit quicker. Once that's done, just set that in the fridge and let it cool until we are ready to assemble the parfaits. Now onto the graham crackers. Very simple. I just have a couple sleeves of graham crackers here that I'm gonna crush with my hands. I prefer to do it this way. We're not making a crust, so we don't need the food processor, and this way you can really control and feel the texture of the crumbs. You can keep them as coarse or as fine as you want. That's the beauty of this parfait. You can kind of layer it however you want to. So after those are a little bit crushed, I'm gonna be adding in a teaspoon of cinnamon to enhance the flavor a little bit, and we're gonna mix that all together and set it aside. Now on to the final, but most important component, the cheesecake filling. So in the bowl of my stand mixer with the paddle attachment, I'm gonna be beating 3 blocks of room temperature cream cheese. What you see on the picture is a half because this is just me here, so I'm halving the recipe, which is nice. You can do that. If you want to make more, you can multiply it. If you want to make less, you can divide it. It's pretty forgiving. So 3 blocks of room temperature cream cheese, beat it for a couple minutes until it is super, super smooth. We do not want any lumps here. Once you get to that point, add in about 4 tablespoons of room temperature sour cream with 1/3 cup of granulated sugar and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Beat this for another minute on a high speed. Go in with a tablespoon of vanilla bean paste, or if you don't have it or can't find it, a couple teaspoons of vanilla extract is just fine. Vanilla bean paste is great because it's a little more intense of a flavor, and you can see the vanilla bean specks in there, which is really pretty. So once that's all done, to make this lighter and fluffier and make the no-bake cheesecake true to its name, I have a cup of cold heavy cream that I whipped, just the cream, nothing added to it, into stiff peaks. I had that already done and in the fridge. And you're just gonna fold that in gently. Classic folding technique. Take your spatula, cut it down the middle, cut it like your enemies, and fold it over until that cream is completely combined in there. And you can set this aside until you're ready to use it, or if you want to go ahead and assemble, you can do that as well. So here I have a couple parfait glasses. If you make the full recipe, this makes about 6. If you cut it in half, just do the math, honey. Half of 6 is 3. I think we know how to do this from there on out. So to start, I'm gonna start with my graham crackers, and then I'm gonna go in with some cheesecake filling, and then some raspberry sauce, and then top it with whipped cream, and then just rinse and repeat until your parfait glasses are filled. This will vary depending on the size of the parfait dish you use. And once that's all filled up, just top with some more whipped cream, some graham cracker crumbs, and a fresh raspberry, and there you have it, friends. And this is it. I mean, look at these layers, if my camera will even focus. Got the raspberry sauce, the graham crackers, the cheesecake, the whipped cream, all of it there. I already had a bite and it's fantastic. It's like all the parts of a cheesecake in one little bite. It's amazing. Once again, the recipe, the link for that's in the description with my other social media. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave me some comments. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can join me every Wednesday for new episodes of Bake It with AJ, especially as we go further into the holiday season. I'm gonna have so many more amazing desserts to share with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. It's like a lightsaber. Wow, 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 wow. Sometimes I'm so weird, I actually concern myself.